Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker in training. Welcome to week 3, day number 1. This is the final week of training at the Swift Academy, assuming that I pass everything. If not, there's remedial training. But all this week is pretty much going to be the same deal. We're going to be doing the pre-trip inspection in the very first thing in the morning, practicing that and getting that in our heads. After getting the trailer coupled to the tractor. In case you're wondering what coupling is, it's hooking up a trailer to a tractor. That's what coupling is. Kind of like a couple, like two people coupled together, right? But after the pre-trip, then we work on our skills, and it seems that there is only enough trucks for one of us to each get a turn before lunch, which I wish I could get more practice on it. But overall, I didn't do too bad. I joked with one person. It was kind of funny. I was saying, yeah, I've got the pre-trip down, and I think I got the road test. It's the skills that have me kind of bothered. I'm having trouble with the straight line backing. And one person was like, really? And I'm like, no. Well, the thing is, you have to have the straight line backing down in order to, be able to do the other ones. So I was just kind of playing around. But I did joke. It was like, yeah, whenever I throw it in the reverse, it goes forward for some reason. But here's kind of the funny thing. When I went to go do the straight line backing, it's parked inside cones, and we're told, okay, pull it forward. I'm like, okay, pulled it forward. And then, back it up. So I backed it up. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, back it up into where the cones are at. But no, we're supposed to back it all the way past. All right, so here is the section that's coned off. We're supposed to, crude, not to scale. We're supposed to back it up past the last set of cones. I was like, Neep. I'm like, okay, it's parked. The instructor's like, no, you gotta put it back down here. I'm like, all right. I don't know. I just put it back where it was. All right, and so then the offset parking was after that, and we're only got to do the offset left now, which is what we're going to be tested on next week. And for the most part, I did okay. I was getting really close to getting it in the box. Remember, the offset left is you got two spaces next to each other, and you're pulling your truck out and moving it over to, this is your left. You're pulling it out, and then you're backing up and moving it over to the space to the left of you. And there's 5 steps in order to make that happen. And actually, I'm going to show you those steps just so you can get kind of an idea. And you might be able to use this for Truck Simulator. I know I will. But I was doing okay. I was almost there. And you're allowed 2 get out and looks and 2 pull-ups. I actually had to use... you don't fail if you use an extra pull-up. You just get points marked off. I had to use an extra pull-up because I wasn't quite... my angle just wasn't right. But after the 3rd pull-up, I actually was able to get it in. I didn't knock down any cones or anything. So I was able to do it. It just took a 3rd pull-up to be able to do it. What's a pull-up? That means you're pulling forward to get into a better position to be able to back. That's what a pull-up is. And then after that was parallel parking. And this was the second time of me doing it, and I pretty much was able to do it on my own. There's a spot where when you're backing up, you're supposed to be looking for this cone on this side, and when it goes into your blind spot and it disappears, that's when you need to start turning your wheel, or actually need to get out and look, see where you're at, and then you can go back in and finish. And I forgot about that cone, but this was the second time we're doing it. I did most of it, and the instructor's kind of like, "Hey, do you see that cone?" And I'm like, "What cone? You mean these?" "Oh, that one." "No." So, yeah, there was that. And then after lunch was, going out and doing more practice on the road. Before I get to that, though, I want to talk about some other things that happened in the morning. There were a couple of people that I have met in the hotel that were in the class before us, and they tested today. One of them passed, the other one did not. They passed the pre-trip, they passed the skills, but they failed on the road test. And they failed because, one, it was taking them a little too long to get up to speed on the road, and so they were kind of like impeding traffic. So it's like within the first few gears, like gear 1 through 5, you need to kind of take it easy, but then once it gets to gear 5, you need to like really start getting it up to speed. And then something else he said he was marked down on was, when you get to an intersection, you're supposed to look, before you get to it, you're supposed to look left and then right. And then as you're going through, look left and right to see if there's any traffic coming. I know you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, right? You're in the middle of the intersection and you're looking left and right. Well, something's coming. I think it's a little too late. It's kind of, you have to do that with the railroad tracks too. You look left and right before you cross the railroad tracks, and then you look left and right when you're crossing it. Well, my thing is, if there's a train coming, isn't it too late by then? I don't know. Maybe it's haul ass over the railroad tracks, and maybe your tractor won't get hit. I don't know. But I brought that up to my instructor on it was like Thursday or Friday of last week, and I'm like, isn't it too late if something comes? And he's like, he just kind of said, we check it before and as we're going through. So he wasn't acknowledging what I was saying. He was just saying, this is how we do it. What's that song again? This is how we do it. I forget. It was one of those, it was a 90s song, wasn't it? I forgot who did it. It wasn't Boyz II Men. I can't remember who it was. R. Kelly? Was it R. Kelly? I don't know. Man, I remember those days. That was when I was in the military. Was in the 90s. So I got exposed to a lot of R&B, hip-hop, gangster rap, when that was all like the rave back then. Anyway, we're getting off topic. If you're going through school, I highly recommend that you keep your ears open and listen. Listen to the conversations that are going on around you. Listen to people talking. If they say, oh, I failed something, and just try to get as much information as you can by listening. And then, if it's appropriate, then maybe approach and ask some questions. So I was listening first, and then I kind of, said, oh, so you took your test, and, how did things go? What were you marked off wrong? And so that way you can learn from someone else's mistakes. Because you're going to make your own mistakes. You don't want to make the same mistake someone else did, right? So keep your ears open and listen to what others have done, what they've done right and what they've done wrong, and then you can apply that to what you're doing, so that way you can be as good as you possibly can be. I want to try to be as perfect as possible, which I know is not going to happen. But if I'm striving for that, then whatever little mistakes that I make won't be much, as opposed to, I'm just going to do it and whatever happens, happens, I mean, you get out what you put in, okay? But also, this morning, the program director, academy director. She came in and she talked with us for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes in regards to basically what we can expect coming up. So once we test, those top testers with the top scores will be selected for the Top Gun program, which apparently is a new program that Swift has, where they do an extra week of training, and it actually counts towards the time that you're on the road with a mentor. So a lot of these mentor programs that they have with refrigerated and dry van are 3 weeks with a mentor. Well, if you do Top Gun for a week, not only are you paid for it, but that week counts towards the mentorship. So then you only have 2 weeks to do with a mentor, and then you get your own truck. And then there's Flatbed, which is both me and another guy that's actually in my group, we're both Flatbed. Flatbed has 4 weeks that we have to do, because the mentor has got to take time with us and teach us in regards to strapping, tarping, and securing the load and stuff. And so that's why there's an extra week. And the chances of us in Flatbed, and there's only 2 of us, like I said, there doesn't seem to be many, the chances of us getting into Top Gun is really slim, because it's not needed for Flatbed. If they have room available, then we might be able to get in. However, that week of training, it's paid, but it does not count towards what we do with the mentor. We still have to do 4 weeks. So basically, I would be doing a week, if I get selected, I would be doing a week of Top Gun, learning, some really good, useful, and I do want to do it. Man, they got a simulator, But I'm also interested in the things that they can program. They can program like weather scenarios and traffic issues and all kinds of cool stuff that I wish would happen in American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. I mean, just a little random emergency off the side of the road is, well, that's okay, but I would like to see actual, situations happening that you have to actually react to. But not only that, but they teach you more maneuvers and more backing techniques and stuff. I think it's all very useful and very helpful information for anyone to take. But I guess the thing about it is that you can learn about this stuff in the Top Gun. I think how it works is if you're among the top students, then you will be able to, it's kind of like learning on your own type of thing. You'll be more adept to be able to learn a week of training, as opposed to if you're not so skilled, having to actually work with a mentor. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like a office. You've got some that work from home and others that don't. And there are some companies where, like, if you have top production and stuff, then they know that you're going to be able to work on your own by yourself, and they'll let you work at home. And those that don't have top production, they're the ones that still have to go in the office. So this is kind of like what I'm saying. So those that have got the high scores, they feel that they're more confident that they don't need to have that extra week with a mentor on the road, that they'll be able to learn stuff in that week of training, including the simulator, while those that may not have a high score will have more one-on-one with an actual mentor on the road. So does that kind of make sense? I think that's pretty much what it is. And the skills that they teach in the Top Gun program aren't really used in Flatbed, which doesn't bother me. I want to learn just so I can learn it, and so that I can play with the simulator. But I mean, hey, I want to be able to talk about this stuff for you guys. I definitely want to be a part of that Top Gun, so that way I can share that information with you. But it's going to be whatever it's going to be. I'm going to try. I'm going to really try. And hopefully I can get a picture or video or something. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what's going to happen with that. But my thing is I'm not going to be doing flatbed the whole time I'm with Swift. I want to be able to move around, and I want to be able to do different types of stuff, like refrigerated, maybe dry van later. But I want to be able to do refrigerated. I want to do the intermodal, where you're picking stuff up from a shipping dock and taking it to a railway station and stuff like that. So I want to be able to have different types of skills that make me more marketable. And so that's going to be the angle that I'm going to go with, because there's an application I have to fill out to get into Top Gun. It's kind of like, why do you think you'd be good for this program? Well, I'm going to explain. Well, I'm planning to do this, that, and whatnot to be able to get it. I'm sure as heck not going to say, well, I'm a YouTuber and I have a bunch of viewers who would love to know what this Top Gun. I probably will not be getting it if I say that. In all honesty, I want to get into it because I want to get as much as I can before I actually go out on the road. Yes, the simulator part is going to be cool. Yes, that's got me really attracted to it. But there's a lot more stuff going on in that Top Gun program that I really want to get before going out on the road. I feel like this is my chance to be a part of it while I still can. Because after I'm out on the road and stuff, I don't know if I'll have that chance. Maybe during they have like refresher courses that you can do, like if you haven't been on the road for a while, or if you're about to, because you have to renew your license every 2 years. For me, it's going to be every year because of, I think it's either because I have sleep apnea or it's because I have high blood pressure, or both, one of the two. Yeah, so I have to renew mine every year. So if I need to go through a refresher course, I can. But yeah. And if you're selected for Top Gun, then you will be staying in a truck for the whole week that you're there. So you won't be in a hotel. You won't be going home. You will be staying inside the truck for the week. And I believe you'll be sharing that truck with another person. I know one person was like, screw that, I don't want to do that. But you're gonna have to do it anyway when you're on the road with a mentor, so might as well do it and get out of the way. Well, you won't get it out of the way, but you know what I mean, right? So it makes sense to me that you're going to be sharing that truck with someone else that's in the Top Gun program. And I think they choose like 8 people, so it's not like they probably don't have 8 trucks that you can well, okay, they do have a lot of trucks, but you guys know where I'm coming from on that. So another thing that was mentioned in regards to the 2 of us that were flatbed is the agility test. Sometime this week, I'm going to have to do the agility test. What I'm doing is I'm trying to do some natural workout before that comes. So like doing some push-ups. I've started using the stairs now at the hotel once I could find them. Apparently they're all the way at the end of the hotel. But yeah, I'm going to start using the stairs to go up, go down, just try to get some working out. And then once I know what this agility test is, I can share that information with you folks. If it's anything like rail transport, which is where I was going to go originally, which was just going to be flatbed, there was a lot of crouching, going underneath the trailer, climbing up on top of using 3 points of contact to get up on top of the cargo, maybe pulling, strapping, being able to push or pull a certain amount of weight. Maybe something like that, but again, that's a different carrier. That's not Swift, so it could be something completely different. But I will let you folks know what that is, so that way if you're interested in getting into flatbed, you'll know ahead of time of what you need to work on before you actually get into it. Because If I tell you, you might be like, oh, maybe I should do some working out or something. You should do some working out before you come into Swift. If you haven't watched the one episode about the room from hell, or the training room from hell, you need to check that out, because yeah, there are some pretty heavy duty stuff that they want you to do. Yeah, I felt like passing out afterwards. But okay, so another thing that's happening this week is Driver Appreciation Week. I think it's drivers in general, but Swift is definitely having something going on. They have like little games and food and giveaways and things like that. We get to go there on Friday. It's at the facility. We're not going to be able to do anything with it until Friday. They'll let us go on Friday. But until then, we are getting free food. So they're bringing us hamburgers and stuff like that. I had a hamburger, but I can't have, after this, because I had one yesterday too. After this, I can't have the bun. I can take the meat and the toppings and stuff, and I can use one of my tortilla wraps, but I have to keep the carbs down because, well, I got this thing down here that I'm trying to get rid of, which actually I've been doing pretty good. Since June, I've lost close to 30 pounds, so got to just keep going. And if I'm able to go on Friday to the driver appreciation thing, I'll have my phone at that point, because it'll be a break, and I can take some pictures and some video while I'm over there. Hopefully. I should be able to. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the road test that not the road test, but the road driving that we did in the afternoon. Like I mentioned, there's 4 of us in our group, and it's pretty much split to where 2 of us are able to go during the first, let's see, we go from 11 to 11:30 for lunch, and then 11:30 to 5, because everything is done at 5, and we have like a 15-minute break, like somewhere in between there, usually around 2 o'clock. 2 people are able to do the road driving before break and after break. 2 people in our group got to do that road testing, but in order for people to get more driving, they got a couple more instructors, so those 2 people were able to go and do some more road testing, and they'll still swap it tomorrow, so that way I'll get to drive twice tomorrow. I was the first one after the break, and I had mentioned to my instructor, says, hey, I haven't driven on the freeway yet, and he says, oh, okay, we got it, you got to be the first one, because of the way traffic and stuff is, it starts getting really close to rush hour around 4 o'clock, and it's really hard to get anything done around then. So I got to drive on the freeway, yay. I went the correct direction. I didn't go against traffic. Okay, so for those of you who have watched my truck simulator videos, I didn't do any of that. I did what I was supposed to do. The interesting thing is, before that, with one of the other drivers before the break, the check engine light had come on, but nothing seemed to happen. He was just, remember I've mentioned that you're supposed to do a lot of commentary. Like, I see this, blah, 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 blah. And as he was going through, talking about everything that he saw, he looked at the dash and said, okay, so check engine light is on. He just kept going. Didn't seem like anything was going wrong. Well, I'm driving, and I had gone on the freeway, got off, and wound up in an area where a school had just released a bunch of high school kids, and it was like a herd of, it was just a wave of kids. They were crossing through the crosswalk, going in between cars, over this way, that way, all over the place. and where the instructor wanted me to do, he wanted me to make a right turn. Well, I had to wait until it was completely clear. So there are kids crossing this way, and then they're crossing the road, across to where or where I was going to turn right. And you can't make a turn until they are on the other half of the road, or if they're on your side, they have to be completely off the pavement before you can turn. And so there were times where I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But there was like a Circle K convenience store. Strange things are. Oh no, that was 7-Eleven. No, it was Circle K. That's right. Bill and Ted, right? Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. And yeah, I think strange things were afoot at the Circle K. So yeah, it was over here, and just as things cleared up, out of nowhere, high school kids just darting out. I guess they got their sodas or something, but they just started coming out of nowhere. And of course, I'm commenting. It's like, yep, I see kids. I'm looking in my mirror. They're all over the place. It took about 10 minutes before I could finally make a right turn and get out of there. And as I was making that right turn, run, 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 run. I'm putting my foot down to the floor. It's like, not moving hardly at all. I'm like, okay, well, this is not good. Eventually I got through. Continued with the drive, and then he had me about halfway through, so that way the other person would be able to drive. We happened to be the other flatbed driver, as a matter of fact. We were the two that were left on the truck. He wanted me to make a right turn into this little area that we've gone to before in order to switch drivers. And so far, all of my turns were doing good. And here's the truck. As we're approaching the road, here it is here. There was a silver car right here. And so, I came in the turning lane. I was right here. There's no light here, by the way. It's kind of like a residential area, but it's like a road that's on the outside of that residential area, if that makes sense. Well, in order to make that right turn, you have to kind of overshoot a little bit and then come back in and around, so that way your trailer doesn't go over the curve. Well, the car was right here, and my instructor wanted me to, we'll put it right here. He wanted me to go around the car like this and then turn. Well, I was trying to do that, but my trailer still went over the curve. And he was saying, well, that would still fail you. But I'm like, well, this is not really fair. I didn't want to hit the car. He got me driving this way behind the car so that way I could completely do the turn. And I was like, why am I doing this? But this car, where we're at, the car could not see past us. He would have to inch out into the road in order to be able to see. And so that's why he was having me move to get behind the car, so that way that person could see. So that was the only thing with that. But then we switched drivers, and as we were driving around, the truck was getting worse. And as part of the road test, you're supposed to simulate a emergency stop. So the tester will say, okay, we're going to do an emergency stop. I need you to pull over here and simulate an actual emergency. So you got to turn on your signal, get completely off the road, and then you stop. You take it out of gear, you put on your four-way flashers, you turn the vehicle off, you get your hands off the vehicle, and you say, okay, if I'm here for 10 minutes, then I would put out my warning triangles, because according to the state law for the motor vehicle department, at 10 minutes you have to put your warning triangles out. So, and then you have to say, okay, now I'm going out and looking around the truck, making sure that, you know, everything is clear, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, I was joking that, hey, we might have to do a real emergency stop because of the way the truck was acting. And we were coming up to the Swift headquarters, which is where everything is all parked. And I thought we were going to turn in. And the instructor was like, no, we still got some more time. I'm going to have you make another round. And I started joking with the other driver. I said, this is where the truck breaks down. I said, this is where it's all going to break down. It didn't, you know, but hey, you know me, I'm a smart aleck, so we made it back just fine. But the instructor's like, yeah, okay, so this is definitely going to the shop. Okay, and so that was my exciting day for training. Let's go ahead. We'll take a look at those sheets that I told you about. We'll do that in lieu of the pre-trip because I don't want this, you know, being like a 2-hour episode. No one's going to watch it then. But we'll go over the cheat sheets that I have for the parking, for the offset parking and the parallel parking, and I'll also show you the sheets that we need to look at in regards to the actual road testing. Okay, so here are the sheets that I was talking about, and I've shown this in the previous episode, but you're going to get a more closer look at it now. So the offset left is one that we're tested on. So you can see the instructions on that, but what will help is showing you this, which actually shows you pictures. So you first pull up straight, not at an angle. So remember, you've got 2 parking spots, right? 2 fingers, right? And you are on this side, and you need to pull up because you're going to back up into this spot. I'm not trying to flip anyone off. You're going to go where my middle finger is at. And screw you! I'm kidding, all right? I'm kidding. All right, so you're moving up. Moving on up, moving on up. So that's what this is saying right here. So you're looking at your mirrors here. This is what it looks like in your mirror. So you're straight and you're centered. That's it back there. That's what you just pulled out of. This is where you're going to be going on this side. Okay, so this is a typo. So you're going to turn your steering wheel 1 1/4 turn to the left. Why? Because you want to left or right? No, it is right. I don't know. Scratch that out. It's right. So you're going to turn your steering wheel 1 1/4 turn to the right, because you want your trailer to go this way, so you got to turn the opposite direction. See, and if you look at this, it's pointing to the right. Anyway, you turn it 1 1/4 that way, and then you start backing up. You back until the driver's side edge of your trailer points to the key cone. Well, actually, it's supposed to come close to touching. So here you are, you're looking at your mirror, and basically the line, the edge of your trailer here, the vertical part, should be not touching the cone, okay? But when you look at it, it looks like it's touching it. Does that make sense? So it actually needs to be a little bit further over. And then once you do that, you're going to turn your steering wheel hard in the other direction. So that's going to be to the left or the right. Right? This one says right, this one says right. So it's all over the place. Okay, so it starts off right. Now you're going the other direction. This is where they messed up. So I was supposed to put left here. Maybe I just didn't follow instructions correctly. That's probably it. Okay, but anyways, you're turning your wheel hard all the way in the other direction, which is in this case left, and you're going to back your tractor and trailer until they are straight and there's no bend. So if you do it correctly, you should see a cone and a small gap on each side. So on both of your mirrors. They call them West End mirrors. There's like a really long mirror like this, and then you have your small convex mirror. So yeah, they're West End mirrors are the big ones, and that's what you're looking at. So when you look at it here, you're going to see a cone here in space, and over here you're going to see a cone and some space. So that's your left mirror, that's your right mirror. Okay, and then the next step, now you're going to back straight. You're going to back it into the box until it looks like your trailer is about to enter the box. Now go, get out and look. The key cone should align with the outer edge of the trailer's mud flap. So here, we're looking at it, and it looks like it's about ready to go in. This is where you need to stop. And you go out and you look, and you want to make sure that when you go out behind and look, the cones should come to right about there, right on the edge of the mud flap. And then from there, you can actually, if it's too far back or too far forward, then you know that, okay, I need to go back just a foot or two, and then I can start turning, or I need to go up a little bit. So yeah, this is what it should look like. And then you'll get back in, and you will turn your steering wheel hard all the way to the left. And it will back the trailer into the offset lane until it looks like your trailer is almost parallel with the line of cones. So right there. So now you're backing it up, and now it looks like it's about parallel. Not exactly, but it's almost parallel. So you can see how it's kind of like at an angle, but it's almost there. And then you turn your steering wheel hard in the other direction to the right, and you start backing up until you are straight. So in other words, you see the end of the trailer on both your left and right mirrors. And then just get out and look, confirm that you're correctly inside the box before sounding your final position. And I think to sound your final position, you honk the horn or something. So, but that is offset left. You do if you're going to do it to the right, it's the exact opposite. But here you've got some pictures. Remember I told you I can't they lock up the phones, so we can't take pictures, we can't take video, but here is something. This gives you a visual of something. Now we're going to do parallel blind side. Now I talked a little bit about this, but this is going to give you a visual. Okay, so first you have that's the box. Here's your truck. See, Swift, it's your Swift truck. You're going to be pulling forward like this, all right, all the way. So keep that in mind. So you're going to be pulling up straight, not at an angle, with your tires about 18, 20 foot away from the cones. Your trailer should pass the last row of cones completely. So remember I was talking about this? Here's your cones. Your trailer should be past it, all right? Then you're going to back up until your mud flap is near the cone before starting the second move. So here it is here. Here's the edge of the parallel parking box right here. You already passed it. Now you're going to back up until until this is around the mud flap area, basically just around this back area. So once you do that, oh yeah, so blind side, what that means, your blind side when you're backing up or whatever is always on your right, because you should always try to back up on your left side, because you can see with your mirror and you can look out the window, but the right side is your blind side. So this is parallel to the blind side, just so you know. So once this is like this, you're going to turn your steering wheel 1 1/4 turn to the left, because remember, we want the trailer to go this way. So you're going to be turning the wheel this way. Then you're going to slowly back until the passenger side edge of your trailer points to the key cone. So here it is. You are looking on the passenger side at this. This is not the driver's side, this is the passenger side. Because remember, you're looking like this, your trailer's going this way. So, and actually our instructor had said that this is the key cone way back here, that the edge of the trailer should actually come close to touching it. So once you've done that, now you're going to turn your steering wheel. Remember, you're stopping at each point, okay? You're not just doing this all at once. So now that you've done that, now you're going to turn your wheel hard all the way to the right, and then you're going to back until your tractor and trailer are straight and has no bend. Basically, you see the end of the trailer on both mirrors. If done correctly, you should be able to see 2 cones and a gap in your West Coast mirror. That doesn't mean west and east, okay? It's just called a West Coast mirror, so don't get confused. Okay, so in your mirror, and I think this is the driver's side that we're looking at, you should see 2 cones and a gap. Now, if you don't see this, then whichever one needs more gap, you need to pull forward hard and turn in that direction, and then turn the wheel hard in the other direction, straighten out the trailer, and that should give you more gap. What was weird when I was doing it is I was seeing 3 cones, but he still had me turn in that direction, and somehow it closed that gap. So I don't know, I got confused. Anyway, once you get it to where it looks right, now you go straight back. Remember, you gotta be able to do that straight line backing, or otherwise you're not going to pass any of this stuff. So you back it straight into the box until you see the first cone closest to the tractor disappear in the passenger side. So yeah, there's a cone on this side, and once it disappears from your mirror, it's in the blind side. So here it is. This is the convex. Your West Coast mirror is up here. This is your convex. There's a little cone right there, right? So once it disappears from view, it's in your blind spot, and that's where you stop and you do your goal. You get out and look. Your trailer should be 2.5 to 3 feet from the line. And so what you do is you come out to where the line is at, and you put your arm out. It should come to around your wrist. You know, it's going to be different whether you're taller or shorter, you know, whatnot. But that's why you're going to measure it and see. But another thing that you're going to do that's not listed on here is you're going to go back here. We're going to say that this here is the River Swift. That's a Swift truck. It's at the moment like this, okay? So you're going to do your arm test here. This is split down the middle here. You're also going to check the angle of your trucks. You're going to look to see if it's in this area here. And then lastly, along this end, this should split your tandem. So you've got 2 wheels, and this line should be coming close to in between those 2 wheels. So as long as you've got those 3 things, then you should be good. And that's where you come back to this part. Finally, you turn your steering wheel hard all the way to the left and back up until you are straight in. So going back to this, as long as everything checks out here, you'll remember you want your trailer to swing out this way, so you're going to be turning it that way. What did it say to turn? Why is it saying to go all the way to? I don't know. I mean, you want your trailer to go this way, so you got to turn. Yeah, hold on here. You want it to turn this way, so yeah, you got to turn it right. I don't know. But anyway, when you do it, it basically turns you all the way back in like this. All right. And then you do your get out and look to confirm that you are inside the box before sounding your final position. Honk, honk. So some of you might be wondering, how come you didn't do a weekend episode, a day 6 and a 7 for week 2? Well, because there wasn't anything all that interesting to record. So, but what I will say is, I did go to the store, but I got Twizzlers. I got this rainbow of Twizzler candy here. Not a sponsor. Strawberry, orange, lemonade, watermelon, blue raspberry, and grape. And then I also got these, which are filled. What is that? Strawberry smoothie? Yeah, strawberry smoothie. Twizzlers. Again, not a sponsor, but Twizzlers, if you're watching, you can be a sponsor. You can be one now. Be a sponsor for KILR TV. Okay, and then in regards to the road stuff, we're going to take a look at the Swift Academy Training Manual 2019 edition, revised in January. It's 2 years old. Okay, so here it is, road training tips. So it tells you right here, when at a stoplight, you want to see 3 white lines over your hood. So in other words, when you stop, you want to make sure you see those white lines, because if you don't, then you've pulled too far and now you're crossing, or you're blocking the crosswalk. And then if the car is in front of you, you want to make sure you see their tires hitting the pavement. At a stop sign, you're going to stop before the stop line, then proceed. If you don't have a clear view, then you just move up. And then it talks about other stuff here. When bridge heights are not posted on the highway, they are 14 foot 6 inches or greater, and a bridge weights are 80,000 pounds or greater. So that's another thing that you have to mention when you're coming up to a bridge that you're crossing. If you have to say what the weight measurement is, if it's listed. If it's not, then you say, I'm crossing a bridge that's not marked, it's 80,000 pounds or greater. And the same thing with an overpass, a road that's going over you. If you're going underneath that road, you have to say what the clearance is marked for. And if it's not marked, then you're saying, I'm coming up to an unmarked overpass, which is going to be 14 feet 6 inches or taller. You can't do a lane change in an intersection. And when you're coming up to an intersection, there are 2 checks. And I mentioned this before. You do it before you enter, and then you do it while you're going through. And then when you're told to make a left or a right turn at the next light, your main goal is to get down to 5th gear no matter what color that light is. Well, that's for like manual stick shifts, but with the automatic, it'll say what gear you're in. And then this over here is talking about the commentary. So remember I told you have to say everything that you're seeing. The tester wants to know that you're looking and wants to know what you're thinking. So you have to talk about everything. And so like here, it's talking about, oh, I'm approaching an intersection. This is what I see. I'm looking left and right. And then like I'm approaching an unmarked overpass or an unmarked bridge. So those are just like what I was talking about earlier. Also, if there's a car or some type of potential, a hazard that's off to the side, you want to mention that. And then there's all kinds of different types of hazards that you don't want to drive over, or want to be careful if you're moving next to them. You want to make sure that you mention speed limit signs. and you're going to be driving 5 miles slower than that speed limit sign. So if it's 45 miles per hour, your safe speed is 40, because you do not want to go over the speed limit, because you will automatically fail if you do that. Also, if you're approaching a signal light, you want to be able to tell the instructor if it's a stale light or a fresh light. What does that mean? A stale light means that it's been green for a bit and could change soon. So you don't want to just try to rush the light. You want to be aware that, hey, this light is coming up is stale. I need to prepare to stop if it changes. Then you got your lane changes. You got to comment on when you're changing lanes, like turning on your signal. You turn your signal on well before you make your lane change. You don't turn your signal off until all 18 wheels are in the new lane that you change to, and that's when you turn your signal off. But right down here it says commentary driving. It tells the instructor what you're thinking and seeing. It is required and must be done at all times. The first day you get into a truck for road training, you should begin this. Shyness and nervousness are not excuses to keep from doing this. And there you go. This is the information in regards to the road testing. So it gives you kind of an idea of what it is that they are looking for and what they're expecting. Okay, and let's talk about one other thing, just when I thought I was done. It's the emergency stopping procedure, which you will have to do during the road test. So, and I mentioned it earlier, you're going to check your traffic, you're going to turn on your signal, your right turn signal. You're going to pull off parallel until you're completely off. You'll still check your mirrors. Make sure that you don't block driveways or fire hydrants. If you do, you wind up being on someone else's YouTube video. Pull your brakes, your red and yellow knobs. So your red one is your trailer, your yellow one is your tractor parking brake. Then you're going to take the truck out of gear. You're going to put on your four-way flashers. You need to get your hands and feet away from the controls. And then you tell the instructor, if I'm parked here for more than 10 minutes, I will put out my reflective triangles. Then, once the tester says you're good, now you're going to pull out. So you're going to do a walk around your truck and trailer to make sure everything is okay. You're going to adjust your mirrors if necessary. You're going to put your truck in gear. You're going to tug it. You're going to tug the trailer. Make sure that it's still attached. Then you'll go ahead and release your parking brakes, both the tractor and trailer. You're going to put your left turn signal on. You're going to check out the traffic, make sure that's good, and then you'll pull out when it's safe to do so, and you turn your indicator off. This other stuff here is not going to apply to what we're doing, because we're not doing hazmat. We're not going down a mountain. We're not going up a mountain. We're not going around a mountain, and stuff like that. But there are some places where you will be doing that, but we are not doing it here, so that's just one less thing that I have to worry about. Okay, so I hope that helped in regards to what it is that we're doing in regards to the backing. It's one of those things where, yeah, you can memorize the steps, but you have to actually apply that actually outside with the truck, and things don't always go according to plan. So that's why I'm sure I'll be fine with the pre-trip, because that is just actual studying stuff. But when it comes to the actual skills of moving the vehicle or being on the road, things just don't always go the way that you hope they do. So, like, we're going through those steps and everything like that. All I know is that if I want my trailer to go one way, I need to turn the other direction. That's pretty much all it is. But we'll go ahead and end things here. So don't click off. I know the minute I say that we're going to end things here, everyone leaves. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? I would love it if you would stay here to the end of the video, because, hey, you know what? It helps out with the whole algorithm thing, because it shows that, hey, look, you kept view engagement all the way through your video. Yay. But if you're new here, hey, subscribe. Why not? I like to think of this as just kind of like a down-to-earth type of channel. We have some fun here. I have different types of programming here. A lot of it is games, and a lot of it is simulator related. So if you like simulators, you're going to like this channel. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, from old stuff to new stuff. Yeah, so it's not just new simulators. I have a variety of different type of stuff and old stuff going back into the 80s, and I'm hoping to get more stuff on here. It just depends on what I have time for. But also the notification bell and clicking thumbs up and leaving comments, all that stuff really helps out the video and the whole YouTube algorithm and thing. So the more, you know, the more activity a video gets, the more chances that other people will be able to see it. And I've looked around and I haven't really seen any real detailed information in regards to Swift training from other people going through. So, and I know I was looking for it because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to Swift or not. So hey, help people out. The more that these videos get attention, the more chances that other people that are looking for information about the Swift Academy will find it. So help each other out. That's what we do in the KILR community. We help each other out. That's just the thing. Another thing happens to be all of my social media links, which are in the description. So if you want to be a part of that, I would have to say that Twitter is probably the most important one out of those, because I use that for official news and announcements, and I'll do some retweets of things that I think you might find interesting. Twitch is a thing, and I'm hoping to be able to do some live streams here and there. Also thinking about doing that on YouTube as well. So if you want to be part of the live streams, I would love to have you there. Be sure to head over to Twitch and give me a follow, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do it, but that's why you want to follow me on Twitter, because I'll make an announcement, hey, I'm going to be doing a stream today or tonight or whatnot, and it's going to be in a little bit. So, you know, be sure that you're following so you get that announcement of when I go live. And I have a countdown. It's typically a 10-minute countdown. So when you get the notification that I go live, there's going to be 10 minutes. It gives you a chance to get all your affairs in order before you hang out with the killer gamer. Yeah, because see, when I'm live, when I go, I'm the killer gamer. I'm not the killer trucker. I'm the killer gamer. I was the killer gamer longer than I was a killer trucker, but now I'm the killer gamer trucker, or the killer trucker gamer, or one of the two. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. Oh, and that's another show that I have, Shut Rambles. Yeah, it's a show where I talk about anything and everything, and I never shut up, and I just go on and on and on. And I hope to get some more episodes on that out. I've got a whole bunch of articles that I've stashed away that I'm hoping to do some videos on. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff here, and I don't know if anyone's still watching at this point. They probably said blah 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 blah. I'm clicking out of this thing, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, and I hope you'll check it all out. Or, well, there's over 1,800 videos, so that's a lot to check out. But I hope you check out. I hope you check out what I have to offer on the channel, and I hope you find something that you like. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow on our next episode of the Swift Academy training. Have a killer awesome trucking day.